Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Today I wanted to share some top reasons to have long-term food storage. There are a lot of emergencies that can happen to all of us. We never know. It could be a short-term emergency or a long-term emergency. Just look how suddenly this pandemic, COVID-19 coronavirus came upon us and how quickly our lives shifted into stay-at-home orders, quarantines, shutdowns of businesses, and economic hardships for people all over the world. The coronavirus pandemic is an ongoing problem. Even in Alaska, we were having a second wave. They're calling it a reset, and we were told to stay home again for an entire month. Even if you're living in an area where the coronavirus is not rampant, people are being allowed to come and go, things are opening up more, there's still the emergencies that we've always had to deal with. Hurricanes, tornadoes, forest fires, winter storms, floods, not to mention job loss, economic downturn, even if you just become sick and can't go to the store, or you lose your job and you don't have the money to buy the things that you need. There are all kinds of reasons why you want to secure the food and supplies for your family so that no matter what the day brings, you have some things in your home that you can feed your family and have the supplies to take care of your day-to-day life. Prepping is about lifestyle insurance and having the things you need to keep your life running smoothly. So that's a great reason to have long-term food storage. Stocking up on long-term food storage is also a great way to save money. You can buy things on sale, stockpile them when prices are lower, and then you are shopping your own pantry when prices are increasing at the store. Be sure that you use, rotate, and restock the food in your long-term pantry, and never spend your money on a food that no one is going to eat. Choose quality foods that you know how to use and that your family is willing to eat. You can also save money by canning some of your own food. You can save money on gas by having supplies at home so you don't have to run to the store all the time. And rising food prices are just a reality these days. So if you're stocking up now, odds are then you'll have extra food that you won't have to resupply it when things are higher. If you're stocking up a little at a time, when you find a good deal, you can buy a nice supply, and that will help you hedge against the rising prices going forward because you'll have additional supply that you bought at a lower price. Another reason to have long-term food storage is food security. In 2018, the USDA did a research that showed that 1 in 8 Americans was food insecure. They didn't really know how they were going to have enough food. They maybe didn't know how to have nutritious food. And it was even a higher, more remarkable number, something like 1 in 6 for children in America who are relying on the adults to provide the food for them. The organization Feeding America says 41 million people are food insecure. They're not sure where their next meal is coming from, perhaps. They don't know how they're going to provide food next week. You just need to look at the growing numbers of people that are going to food banks because they need extra food to realize that hunger can be a problem. Since the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic started early in 2020, the incidence of people requiring food assistance from food banks has doubled over what it was a few months before. If you have a long-term food storage stockpile, you won't need to go be in those crowds of people that are trying to get food from a food bank or food pantry. There are food disruptions all over the world, everything from drought to plagues of locusts, broken dams that are flooding areas, and during this pandemic, farmers have not been able to plant their crops, harvest their crops, take the crops and the animals for meat to the packing plants and food processing areas, and there's been a real glitch in the food distribution system. You can watch on the television and they'll tell you there is no disruption to the food chain going to the grocery stores in the United States, but if that's true, why are the shelves empty and why was the National Guard helping unload food behind the grocery stores? And why were so many people at the food banks? Since this pandemic started, the food availability in grocery stores is waxing and waning. Sometimes you go and you can find things you want. The prices might be higher. Maybe you can still find the things that you want at a reasonable price. But if your grocery store is anything like where I live, There are blanks in the shelves where there is no food. You may look at a product like Super Tomatoes. They have very few selections. And if you look, there's only one row of cans on the front of the shelf, and it is all empty behind it, where it used to be packed to the front and the back. They're warning us that there's going to be a resurgence of coronavirus. There's going to be a second wave that's going to be worse. We're also going into winter when you're not going to be able to grow food for yourself. And a lot of the foods that should have been grown this summer were not turning in the harvest and the yields that we were expecting or that we need to take care of and feed America and the rest of the world. So it's a great time to be prepared and not scared. Stock up so that you know you're going to have food tomorrow. You know you'll have food next week, and get as much food as you can and you can afford, and that you can keep organized in your home so that you can provide the things that you need for your family. If you have plenty of food and fresh drinking water, then if an emergency comes along, you have the capability to remain calm and figure out what to do next, how to make the best of any situation that comes your way. So take that next step and be as prepared as possible so you can provide the brightest future for yourselves and your family. If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else who might enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.